pupils, parents, and guardians, let me start by thanking you for being a part of all our remote learning platforms, particularly our television program, The Classroom in Your Home. Each feedback has been awesome. Good job, you. Our teachers have been working assiduously to bridge the learning loss during this critical period. Therefore, I am pleased to inform you that the Classroom in Your Home has been extended to accommodate the lower primary classes and a dedicated lesson to cater for our special needs pupils in line with our mandate of providing an all-inclusive and quality basic education in our dear state. This program is fully sponsored by the Universal Basic Education Commission, UBEC, and supported by the Lagos State Universal Basic Education Board under the COVID-19 Blended Learning Intervention Initiative. Please encourage your wards to tune in and take every advantage of this laudable program. Also remember, this pandemic is not over. Let us continue to abide by all health and safety guidelines as stipulated by the government. At Lasubeb, we are determined to leave no child behind in our quest to improve the standard of basic education in our state. Thank you.
Hello, my wonderful pupils. You are welcome to this interesting and educative program. A program that is tagged The Classroom in Your Home, fully sponsored by Universal Basic Education Commission, UBEC. Well, fully packaged by Lagos State Universal Basic Education Board, Lasubeb. Truly, no child is left behind. I am Auntie Lola, and I'll be taking you through English studies which I call communication class. You're wondering if I'm here alone? No, I am not. With me, I have a beautiful mathematics teacher, Auntie Tinu.
Hello, wonderful pupils.
That is Auntie Tinu. And our ever-ready general studies teacher, Uncle Sheyi.
Hello, pupils.
And in trial, we bring you the classroom in your home. Please stay tuned. It's another day in our English studies class, and I say welcome, children. We started a topic last lesson, which is apostrophe. Do you recall, children? That apostrophe is a floating comma, or we say it's a punctuation mark, which makes a word simpler and shorter. You can also recall that last lesson, I mentioned the two ways we can use apostrophe. Did you recall, children? Wow, that is interesting. One in possession. We talked at length on possession, which signifies ownership. And the second part is what? In shortening words. And also last lesson, I gave you an assignment. Have you opened to where you wrote your assignment? Okay, let's get the correction done. And in your book, give yourself a tick if you got it correctly. If not, you can put a star. All right, so let's get the correction to our previous homework. You have to rewrite sentences using apostrophe for possession. You were asked to rewrite those sentences. 1, that dog belongs to Ade. What belongs to the dog? Who owns the dog? It is Ade, and so Ade takes the apostrophe. That is Ade's dog. 2, that is the head teacher of my school. If you are to rewrite that, what do you get? That is my school's head teacher. You got the 2 correctly? 2, 1/2. Wow. Give yourself a love clap. Myself. So brilliant, children. And to the lesson objective for today, that by the end of the lesson, you should be able to identify the appropriate use of apostrophe when making an omission or shortening words. You should also be able to give examples of some shortened words with the use of apostrophe. Okay, so how do we use shortened word? How do we use apostrophe to shorten word? Well, to make a shortened word, we put 2 words together and shorten them using an apostrophe. A floating comma or a punctuation mark. Good. Where the letter or letters have been omitted or taken out. Where we omit a letter, it could be one letter, it could be two letters. What do we put in replacement? We put an apostrophe. That apostrophe tells us that, oh no, I have shifted some letters away. I'm now taking the seat of that letter that has been pushed away. Okay? Apostrophe takes the place of letter O of the word not. When do and not are put together, what do we get? They make the shortened word don't. Now, this is an example. We are looking at the two words, do not. And so we want an apostrophe to come into action. We take away the O, which is under not. From the answer here, we take away the O in between N and T, and an apostrophe comes into place. Now let's get some words that apostrophe makes easier. Two words. So words like when we have a not, when apostrophe comes into action, we have what? Aren't. Are you following, children? Okay. Cannot. Two words. We want to compress it and make it one word. Apostrophe comes in, what do we have? Can't. Did not, we have what? Didn't. Do not, we have don't. He will to one word, he'll. Are we together? I am, we have what? Ham. Are you following? I have, we have. Is not, isn't. Let us, let's. She will, she'll. Are you following, children? That is, we have that. There is, theirs. We are, we're. What is, to one word, what. You will, we have you'll. Now, when you notice this table very well, you will notice either one letter or two letters have been taken out to replace an apostrophe. It makes it easier to say. You agree with me, children? Oh, yes. Now, let's go to some of the examples. The first one we'll be looking at, I have got a great idea. I have got a great idea. Now, we want an apostrophe to come in and help us out on something. I have. It looks long. But when we try to shorten that, what do we get? I've got a great idea. Beautiful. So easy to say, right? It makes it shorter and simpler to say. I will see you next week. When apostrophe comes in shortening words, we have I'll see you next week. Notice, children, we are not using apostrophe for all the words in the sentence. There are specific ones we are adding an apostrophe to. You only need to get those words correctly and use apostrophe. Are we together? Okay. It is cold outside. It is cold outside. When apostrophe comes in between it and is, we have it's cold outside. Sheyi did not come yesterday. Sheyi did not come yesterday. Now we want to use apostrophe in between did and not. What do we get? Did you guess that? Sheyi didn't come yesterday. Sheyi didn't come yesterday. Wow. I'm sure you've gotten the little trick that goes with shortening of words. It is your turn, children. Can you attempt this? I'm sure you can. Shorten the following sentences with the use of apostrophe. I will be home by 6 p.m. Done? Okay. They are coming to the house. They are coming to the house. The third one, let us play a game. You have 30 seconds to do that, and your time starts now. Eyes on me, children. Are you through? Are you really through? I'm sure you are. Okay, can we do the correction? For number one, okay, you're told to shorten the following sentences with the use of apostrophe. I will be home by 6 p.m. When apostrophe comes in, what is apostrophe? Pushing away and taking the seat of that letter. Apostrophe is pushing W away, and we have I'll be home by 6 p.m. Did you get that correctly? Give yourself a tick. The second one, they are coming to the house. What is apostrophe? Pushing away and taking its space. It's pushing A away. And we have they are coming to the house. You got that too. Wow, that is awesome. Give yourself a tick. The third, let us play a game. Let us play a game. What do we have as the answer? Let's play a game. 3/3? Wow. 2/3? Wow. Roll for yourself, children. Roll it. And one clap. Pa. Awesome. That is a very good attempt. Now to your take home, your assignment. You are to shorten the following sentences using apostrophe. 1, I am going to the market. I am going to the market. 2, she is going to her house. She is going to her house. That is my food. Have you put that down? It is time. It is time for our next segment, children. I'm sure you're waiting for this. It is the letter of the week. And the letter of the week is what, children? Okay, it's on the board already. It is letter D sounds D. Did you say that? Letter D sounds D. Can you say that, children? Beautiful. And we want to start with a short story. Let's read this. Dog and duck are at the door. They are here to see dinosaur. So they knock on his door. Dinosaur, can you hear us at the door? Wow, what an interesting short story. Now from this short story, we want to pick the words that have the sound D in it. Let's go. Dog. Okay, are you seeing another one? Dog. Oh, Auntie Lola, there's another one. Oh, yes, I can see it. That is dog. Good. Which other one can you see? That is another one here. Dinosaur. Good, children. I'm sure you are following. And you've tested your listening ear. Have you done that? Have you tested your listening ear? Can you hear me? Awesome. Okay, so let's get other words that have D in it. We have D as in door. Okay? D as in dish. You can see that beautiful dish? Of course, you call it plate at home, but the right word is dish. The next one, we have d, as in duck. Okay? Another one, d, as in dirty, very dirty hand, right? Okay? And that's it for today, children. Oh, Auntie Lola, I know other words that have d in them. Wow, you know them? Why don't you tell the next person to you? Well, we've been able to look at apostrophe today in shortening of words. And we've been able to look at the letter of the week. I'm sure you've gained a lot. Till I come your way next lesson, please remember that repetition is the mother of retention. The more you read, the more knowledge you acquire. Please do not stop learning. Well, it is time for our mathematics class, and it is Auntie Tino's class. Bye.
Welcome to today's mathematics class. When I say mathematics time, you say fun time. Mathematics time, fun time. And like always, today's mathematics class promises to be fun. Today, we will be learning area. Say area. But first of all, the correction to our previous homework. Let's take the correction to our previous homework. Mention 3 examples of 2-dimensional shapes. Remember last lesson we spoke about, or we learned 2-dimensional shapes. I told you square, rectangle, circle, pentagon, hexagon, heptagon, octagon, and so on. So anyone you wrote down, you are correct. I have here square, the 4-sided shape that has all its 4 sides equal. Pentagon, the 5-sided shapes. Triangle, the 3-sided shape. Circle, the perfect round shape. Are we together? Say together we are. If you got the 3 questions correctly, then you deserve a love chair. And I'm going to give you a love chair to celebrate your victory. Let's go. To you. You are amazing and wonderful pupils. Now, the learning objective. By the end of today's lesson, you should be able to define area. Find how many units square are in each figure. Calculate the area of rectangles and squares. Area. I'd like us to watch this video to quickly prepare us for what we are going to talk about today. Enjoy.
An introduction to area. Area is the space inside a 2D shape. We can't use units such as centimetres or metres because they only measure distances in a straight line. So, to measure area, we use squares. This shape has an area of 8 squares. Let's calculate the area of some other shapes. If we overlay a grid, it makes it easy to calculate. By counting, we can see that the area of the first shape is 15 squares, and the area of the second shape is 12 squares.
Eyes on me, say eyes on Auntie Tino. You're welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that video. I want you to listen attentively to everything I'm going to be saying from now henceforth. Area is the space inside a 2D shape. Remember, I taught you 2D shapes last lesson. So today I'm telling you that area is the space inside a 2D shape. We can't use units such as centimeters or meters because they only measure distances in a straight line. We can't use units such as centimeters or meters because they only measure distances in a straight line. If we want to walk from the board to the back of the class, that is a straight line. But you cannot measure inside the classroom using centimeters and meters. I will explain what I mean. The space occupied by a shape is called the area. When you have a box, it's sitting on the table. The space the box is sitting on that table is what we call the area. Now look at my board. You can see the black region on the board is bigger than the yellow part. So this is the area, this is an area, and this is also an area on its own. I hope you get what I'm saying. As the lesson continues, you will understand what I'm trying to say. So to measure area, we use squares. We use squares. Remember, a square is a four-sided shape that has all its sides equal. Are we together? Together we are. Using squares to measure area. To find area, we need to find how many units square can fit in the shape. To find area, we need to find how many units square can fit in this shape. Remember when I was teaching you addition, subtraction, I told you unit is one. So we want to know how many one square can fit in a big shape. Are we together? Together we are. A unit square is a square with each side measuring 1 unit. A unit square is a square with each side measuring 1 unit. This is a unit square. The top, the side, the bottom, and the other side all have 1 unit. 1 unit, that means the square is very small. It's so small that it can fit into other shapes. You see what I'm trying to say. Finding unit squares. How many unit squares are there in these shapes? How many unit squares are there in these shapes? This is a rectangle, and I've divided this rectangle into unit squares. Now let's count how many unit squares are in this rectangle. How many unit squares are in this rectangle? Count with me. 1, 2, 3, 4. How many unit squares are in this rectangle? We have 4 unit squares. Are we together? Together we are. This is another rectangle. How many unit squares are in this rectangle? Let's count together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. How many unit squares are in this rectangle? We have 6 unit squares. Good job, you. How many unit squares are in this shape? Let's count together again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So how many unit squares do we have in this shape? We have 6 unit squares. Eyes on me. Say, eyes on Auntie Tinu. How many unit squares do we have in this shape too? Let's count together using a star. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 unit squares in this shape. I know your star will be finer than mine. If your star is finer than mine, then you deserve a love chair. Let me celebrate your star with a love share. To you. So we have 5 unit squares in this shape. Can you guess the next 3 on your own? Let's see if you can. How many unit squares are in this shape? Let's see if you guessed right. 9 unit squares. Let's count together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You are amazing. Beautiful. How many unit squares are in this shape? Can you guess? Let's see if you guessed correctly. 6 unit square. Now let's see how we got 6. Let's count together. Using a circle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You are awesome, awesome, totally. I love you. 6 unit squares. How many unit squares are in this shape? Can you guess? Have you guessed correctly? Let's see if you got your answer correctly. 8 unit square. Let's count together using, what should we use now? I think I'll use an apple. You know I love apples. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 unit squares. Let's give ourselves a round of applause. Good job, us. Calculating areas of rectangles. Calculating areas of rectangles. Areas can also be calculated using area equals length times breadth. Area can also be calculated using area equals length times breadth. I'll show you what the length means and what the breadth means. Then the breadth is also called width. Say that with me. Width. Area equals length times breadth. The breadth is also known as width. Then you can write it as a short form. A is equals to L times B. To find the area of a rectangle width, this is our length. This long part on the rectangle is our length. And this short part is the breadth or width. The long part is the length, while this short part is our breadth. Are we together? Together we are. To find the area of a rectangle width, length, this long side, 5 centimeter, and breadth, 2 centimeter. What am I asking you to say or to do? I'm asking you to fit 5 unit squares on the top and 2 unit squares by the side. Are we together? I'm asking you to draw 5 unit squares on the straight line and 2 unit squares by the sides. Are we together? Yes. Now let's count how many unit squares we have all together. Remember, for every breadth we are drawing 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And for every length we are drawing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Are we together? Say together we are. Now, let's count how many squares we have all together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So, if we don't want to count, we can also say area is equals to the long part, that is the length, times the short part, that is the breadth. And I told you the long part is 5 centimeter and the shorter part is 2 centimeter. Are we together? And I counted 5 centimeter above and 2 centimeters by the sides. So instead of us to count, we can also say 5 times 2, which is equals to 10 centimeter squares. Where did I get the squares from? They are the unit squares I fitted into my rectangle. I hope you remembered. Good job, you. Calculating areas of squares. Remember, a square is a four-sided shape. It has all its sides equal. Remember that squares have all its sides equal. So to find area of squares, we say area equals length times length, or A equals L times L is the same thing. A is the short form of writing area and L is the short form of writing length. Are we together? Say together we are. Solution. Remember I told you area is equals to length times length because it has all its sides equal. 4 centimeter times 4 centimeter will give us 16 centimeter squares. Are we together? Together we are. Find the area of a square with length 3 centimeter. So simple. If this place is 3 centimeter, it means here will also be 3 centimeter. Here will also be 3 centimeter. And here will also be 3 centimeter. It's either, we can either count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Or we say area equals to length times length, which is 3 centimeter times 3 centimeter, or 3 centimeter times 3 centimeter. And that will give us 9 centimeter squares. 9 centimeter unit squares. Are we together? Now do this. I want to know how well you have been following the area lessons since the beginning of the lesson. Let's see. Evaluation. Find the numbers of unit squares in these shapes. The number of unit squares in these shapes. You have 30 seconds to do that, and your time starts now. Down, pens down, and eyes on me. Let's get the correction to our evaluation questions. Find the number of unit squares in these shapes. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. A quick one for a very smart pupil. I need you to tell me what type of shape is this? Or is this? Did I hear you say square? Good job, you. Yes, it's a square. How did I know that? It has all its sides equal. I have 5 unit square on the length and 5 unit square on the breadth part. So it has length and length. Good job, you. So we have 25 unit squares in this square. Good job. Now let's count for the second question. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we have 12 unit square in this rectangle. Bravo, you are smart pupils. I love you so much. Good job, you. Assignment, it's homework time, it's assessment time. It's homework time, it's assessment time. Remember, you must do Auntie Tinu's homework. You must do Auntie Tinu's homework. Find the area of a rectangle with length 4 centimeter and breadth 3 centimeter. Remember, I want you to draw your unit squares in your rectangle. You count and you also show me how to work it out using your length times breadth. I know you get it because you are smart pupils. Find the area of a square with length 7 centimeter. I want you to draw your square. I want you to put your unit squares in it, and I also want you to calculate using length times length. Yes. And that's it for today. Oh, I really enjoyed myself today. I'm sure you did too. Till I come your way next lesson, remember, Auntie Tinu cares and expect a more fun package time with Uncle Sheyi in General Studies class. Goodbye.
Hello, pupils. You are welcome to another exciting segment of the program, the classroom in your home. This is General Studies class, and I'm your teacher, Uncle Sheyi. Today, we'll be looking at air as a means of transmission. But before we go into today's class, let's have correction to the previous homework that you were given. In our last class, you were asked to mention 4 types of pollution. Mention 4 types of pollution. Number 1, air pollution. Do you remember? Yes, when we say when the atmosphere is contaminated with smoke, air pollution. 2, land pollution. 3, noise pollution. And 4, water pollution. Did you get the 4 questions correctly? You deserve a chair. Now, at the end of today's lesson, or by the end of today's lesson, you should be able to define disease transmission, okay? And also, you should be able to mention 4 types of airborne diseases. Lastly, you should be able to state 3 ways of preventing the spread of airborne diseases, okay? What is disease transmission? What is disease transmission? Disease transmission is the process by which diseases spread from one person to another. So it is a process or a way whereby disease is passed from one person to another. So it means that once a man is carrying a disease, it is possible for that same man to transfer the disease to another person, okay? So disease transmission is the process by which a man or a woman transfer a disease to another person, all right? Now, there are some diseases that spread through the air, okay? There are some diseases that spread through the air. These diseases are called airborne diseases. Airborne diseases are those diseases that spread through the air, okay? So they are called airborne diseases. Good job, you. Airborne diseases or airborne disease spread through droplets from the cough or sneeze of an infected person. When an infected person coughs or sneezes, the disease can spread to another person, okay? So airborne diseases can spread through the droplets from the cough or sneeze of an infected person. And if you can look at the screen very well, you will see these two ladies as they are coughing. You can see the droplets that is going into the air. All right. Okay. Now, when these droplets from the cough of an infected person stays in the air, any other person that now breathes in the infected air may be infected with this same sickness. Okay? Anyone that breathes in the infected air may be infected with the sickness or disease. All right? Now, what are the examples of these airborne diseases? What are their names? Let's look at examples of airborne diseases. Number one is chicken pox. What do I call it? Chicken pox. Okay? As you can see from the screen, chicken pox looks like rash. They look like rash on your body, like red blisters all over your body. Your body becomes very itchy. Okay? And your eyes becomes red. All right? So, and this kind of disease can be contracted through the air. All right? It can be contracted through the air. It is an airborne disease. Another example of an airborne disease is flu or influenza. It is called flu also. Flu is a kind of disease that you contract through the air, and the symptoms are as follows. You feel itchy, your throat becomes itchy, you find it difficult to breathe, and you start to cough, okay? You have runny nose and so many others. Influenza or flu can be contracted by what? Through the air, okay? All right. Another airborne disease is measles. Measles, okay? And you must know that measles is common among children. In fact, it's a disease that is common among very young children. Measles also can be contracted through the air, and you will notice it by the red rashes or blisters all around your body and your face. And it's also very itchy. Your body starts to itch you, okay? And you will notice that when someone has measles, the person start to cough, running nose, and so many other symptoms, okay? Please ensure that you don't touch surfaces when your hands are not clean, because by touching surfaces when your hands are not clean, you can also contract measles. All right? Another airborne disease is tuberculosis. Let's pronounce it together. Tuberculosis. Again, tuberculosis. All right. And the short form of pronouncing it, you can say TB. TB, tuberculosis. As you can see from the screen, tuberculosis is an airborne disease that attacks the lungs. It attacks the lungs, and the person will start having difficulty in breathing. Person start having difficulty in breathing, and after a while, the person becomes very slim and lean. All right? It's a very dangerous disease, and it has killed a lot of persons. Though it is not common among children, it is common among adults. Tuberculosis, it attacks the lungs. All right? Another airborne disease that can be contracted through the air is cold. This one is common. Cold. When you start having catarrh, start coughing, start having running nose, yeah, cold. It's common among children, among adults, and everybody. In fact, at one point or the other, you might have contracted cold, and you can contract it through the air. It's an airborne disease. All right? Now, how do we prevent the spread of airborne diseases? Because it is not good for a disease to be transferred from one person to another. So how can we prevent the spread of airborne diseases? Wash your hands regularly, okay? As you have been seeing on TV and as you have been listening to on radio, that you should wash your hands regularly under running water, okay? and ensure that you wash your hands for at least 30 seconds to ensure your hands are well cleaned, okay? Wash your hands regularly. Another way we can prevent the spread of airborne diseases is by having social distance from people, from your parents, from your classmates, from visitors, from strangers. Avoid close contact with people who are showing symptoms, okay? So you should not move close to anybody too much. At least let there be a space of 3 meters between you and anybody, especially those who are showing symptoms, okay? Number 3, another way you can prevent the spread of airborne diseases is by using a face mask, okay? As you can see from the picture, you can see the governor using a face mask, all right? So use a face mask. You can also stop the spread of airborne diseases by staying at home when you feel sick, especially when you start having symptoms of diseases, any form of disease. You should stay at home and treat yourself, okay? You should tell your parents or your guardian so that they can take you to the hospital, all right? So when you are feeling sick, stay at home, don't go to school, stay at home, tell your parents so that they can take you to where you can have proper care, all right? Number 5, how can you stop the spread of airborne diseases? By avoid touching your face and other people or any other surfaces without a clean hand, okay? Avoid touching your face and other people or surfaces with unwashed hands, all right? So ensure that if you are to touch anywhere, ensure your hands are clean. And after touching anywhere again, ensure you clean your hands. Don't touch anybody, don't touch any part of your body with dirty hands, all right? Pupils, I know you have been following. It is time for me to ask you questions on what you have been taught, all right? So get your pen and your paper and let's write this down. Number 1, what is disease transmission? Okay? What is disease transmission? And number 2, mention 2 examples of airborne diseases. Remember, I told you examples of airborne diseases. So mention 2. And number 3, mention 2 ways of preventing the spread of airborne diseases. 2 ways of preventing airborne diseases. So we have 3 questions here. I have to give you just 50 seconds to answer these questions. Your time starts now. All right, stop writing. Stop writing. The questions are simple. Yeah, stop writing. So let's have corrections to these questions. All right. What is disease transmission? Disease transmission is the process by which disease is spread from one person to another. Okay? It's the process by which what? Disease is spread from one person to another. Good job, you. I know you got that correctly. Give a tick. Mention 2 examples of airborne diseases. 2 examples of airborne diseases. You have chickenpox, influenza, measles, tuberculosis, TB, cold. So if you mention any 2 from the ones I have listed here? Give a tick. Well done. Number 3, mention just 2 ways of preventing the spread of airborne diseases. 2 ways of preventing the spread of airborne diseases. I remember I told you that you should wash your hands regularly. You should also avoid close contact with people who are showing symptoms. You should also use a face mask, okay? Use a face mask. If you mention 2 ways out of the ones I have listed or I have taught you in the lesson, give a tick. Did you get all the answers correctly? Good job, you. Well done. And if you didn't get everything correctly, don't worry. In our next class, I know you will do better, okay? All right. It's time to write down your homework, okay? Pick your pen and your paper, and let's write this down. Mention 5 examples of airborne diseases. 5 examples of airborne diseases, all right? Are we taking that? Are we taking that? Beautiful. Did you enjoy today's lesson? I had a great time, and I'm sure you also had a good time. Okay, until next time that we will be meeting again, Uncle Sheyi says, be good. Bye.
Bravo! We have come to the end of another interesting, amazing, and educative session. Did you enjoy today's episode like we all did? If so, join us next lesson, same station. Yeah. Please send your comments, your questions, and homework to the number showing on the screen, 081-5086-5663. SMS and WhatsApp messages only. Do not call. Yeah. I repeat, do not call. If you love your family and friends, you must stay safe for them and for you especially. To stay safe for everyone you love,
wash your hands regularly.
Practice social distancing.
If you must go out, I repeat, if you must go out, wear your
face mask.
Till we come your way next lesson, remember, at Lasubeb,
we leave no child behind.
This is to inform the general public that registration of children for admission into Nursery 1 and Primary 1 will commence in all public nursery and primary schools in Lagos State from Monday 21st September through to Friday 23rd October 2020. The minimum registration age for Primary 1 is 6 years. That is, only children born between 1st April 2014 and 31st March 2015 whose parents or guardians are residents in Lagos State are qualified for registration. Application for registration should be obtained from the head teachers of all public nursery and primary schools in the state. Parents and guardians should register in the school nearest to their homes. Registration is from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. daily. Application forms must be accompanied by 3 passport-size photographs of the child, birth certificate of the child, evidence that parent or guardian is resident in Lagos State, that is your LASURA registration card, parent or guardian's tax clearance. Completed application form must be submitted to the head teacher of the school from where it was obtained and must reach him or her on or before Friday, 23rd October 2020. No late registration will be considered. Parents are advised not to register at more than one center. Note, registration is free. Announcer, Lagos State Universal Basic Education Board, Lasubeb.